Okay, just good job, Bob, because we don't see what you're seeing, so we're advancing our presentation, and it's going to be a journey, but nobody going to get hurt. So, all right, yeah. So my name's Russell. I go by Russ T. Grice. I'm an aquaculture business specialist. I work for the Alabama Cooperative Extension System based at Auburn University Shellfish Lab, and I get support from Mississippi Alabama Sea Grant. And there it was. Yeah, so you might have seen the Progressive commercials Dr. Rick is about. And I woke up in this season of life a few weeks ago. And the point is, as you get older and you've experienced, a couple of business ownerships and working with industry and outreach and education, you realize you're just desperately trying to communicate the things you've learned and experiences to the people you care about, like all of y'all. And so that's where I landed. So I'll follow up on the slide and the economic information, and as a business specialist, we work on business planning and pro forma, looking 5 years out ahead. So if you know where the price is going to be based on the last 10 years, maybe not the information you want, but that's good information. So you can project that number out. If we knew what mortality was going to be or some of the other inputs, that would be great as well. But if you know based on the price history, you can make decisions on that. Just put it in there, and based on that. I remember this from Economics 101 when I was in college. It's called the equilibrium price, and that's when supply meets demand. It's kind of what it sounds like to me. Probably not the exact definition, but one of the benefits is, it allows for planning, like I just mentioned. One of the disadvantages is, keep doing that. See, I'm becoming Bill and Bob. So yeah, there's the graph, supply equals demand. So you can have more predictability, which we all would like, but ask yourself the question, are you a price taker, or do you name your price for the market? So that helps you define. Yeah, so Kane and Greg was going to be here. He had a conflict, but he'll probably present at the next symposium, and he was going to talk about shrinkage in business. And really, it gets down to pennies that you lose along the way. They can be due to theft, administrative errors. You lose a receipt, you give a tip for cash, and mortality, or maybe your seed order's off a little bit. You didn't check your delivery, trust but verify. Your invoice from your vendors, your product spoils. There's a lot of little pennies that add up. My favorite is the Sweetheart one, where you're giving out product or merchandise, hats, t-shirts. All of that's fine. Stickers are my favorite, by the way. All of that's fine. Just account for it. And hey, I hear a little happy voice. There, you can stay. I'm crying too, but so. The way to account for that is in your budget, just put in there shrinkage loss. That's a retail and inventory. Any time that something causes loss of value or loss of product, you need to account for that so that you can land where you want to at the end of the year. So just put a percentage in there. My favorite slide. So yeah, you start out there on your lease with your farm. You bring your product to the landing. You take it to a processor. It goes through a distribution channel. Ends up in a retail or restaurant. Hey, I didn't do that. It ends up in a retail or restaurant environment, and eventually it ends up with the consumer, either at a retail setting or at home. So the point and the takeaway here is everybody in this supply chain has to be very, very good. So they have to make money along the way. Obviously, you have to as well. But remember, the type of product you're working with requires this type of quality. So if you've ever been through one of my workshops, you'll remember back in the good old times, we used to go to the Blockbuster with my girls when they were little. There's a movie called Lilo and Stitch, and in there, Stitch throws out a book, and it says, "Oyster farming, is it for you?" So that's kind of where we landed on this talk. And the example I use is Blockbuster. There used to be thousands of stores. You go on, you pick out a movie, go home, watch it for a couple of days, then you had to take it back. And if you didn't, they would fine you, and you'd pay rent and all those kind of things. So Netflix came along, and within, it's about 8 years, they completely bankrupt blockbusters. The takeaway is what Bob was talking about is how do you get your product to the consumer the most efficient way? And I actually watched a Netflix movie on the flight over here, so they can't be any more close. It's the same product too as Blockbuster offered. So, yeah, that was the chart about them burying Blockbuster in a very short period of time. There's kind of a tone about a co-op in the room, and I've been asked about it by some of the growers back home and in other parts of the country. Go on the USDA and look and just put in the Google, the Co-ops 101. This is a great document about, and you're now in agricultural world, so it's about agricultural co-ops, which has decades of history. And there's also several, Mark, pay attention. There are also several sections in there about, or definitions in there about business types, which is beneficial. Co-ops are not quite what you think they are, but they have their advantages. Business succession planning. So that's something you should think about before you ever get out of the boat, if you're the ones that get out of the boat or you're ones that are investing in the company. And these are the different components. A very simple slide. You can pull up of any number of these on a search engine, and it should be part of your thinking. When I was at NACE a couple of weeks ago, Brandon talked about writing these things down and then signing them with your partners or the people you care about. So you and then reviewing them. It's a living document. Hey, how about this one? There are actually places where you can go and you get professional estate planning and succession planning. There's a fellow in Mobile named Cullen Duke. You remember Cullen? He was one of our very first farmers, and he's a tremendous attorney. Not a lot of fun to work with, what I remember, but his plan was 5 years, he put a bow on it, and he sold it. And now you could call him or you can find somebody locally. I don't give advice, but use a professional attorney in accounting. What's next? All right, we talk about cash flow. So if you're in farming, particularly in shellfish farming, by the time, I hear a lot about permitting, but by the time you decide to start your permit, you install your infrastructure, you plant your seed and you grow, you're talking a couple of years maybe longer. But so you have to anticipate your cash flow and negative cash flow, what your burn rate is every month and how long you can go how far you can go with the cash you have on hand. Eventually you'll hopefully be profitable and you'll have cash. Then over a period of time, we talk about different companies, and yours is no different. Uber was in business, it formed for 14 years and was public for about 7 before they were profitable, which was in 2023. I had a terrible Uber ride last night, but I still use Uber. And we all have it a lot of us have it on our phones, so they know where we went and who we were with and probably who was in the car with us. Businesses have a life cycle. Think about it just like any species. So they dream up, they start up, they die. So think about where your exit wants to be. So when your businesses start to decline or mature, or maybe you do, think about what you're going to do and be obsessed with your exit strategy, and so that you don't ride it. I've ridden this curve a couple times. It's not great if you not anticipate that. So the thing that I get excited about is the exit strategy. Be obsessed with the value of everything about your business and do everything you can to drive value into that business every day and every part of it. It includes eliminating waste and watching every penny like we talked about. This is actually a business for sale I found a couple of days ago up at PEI. Make a brochure, put some pictures on it. Think about the price as you go along continuously. The best document out there, I think, is the Oyster Farming Resilience Index, and that's a yes, no, 200 questions. And I think everybody in the room should take it, not just farmers, but people that work for farmers, people that do research for industry, extension specialists like myself, to understand what is involved in being an entrepreneur in this business. And just last week, I had it converted into Spanish, so that's available now. There's a QR code. I'll put that up in a minute. Those are the major headings and the different sections, and every one of those is a 2-day workshop. And it works for other species. We have some folks from Maine in town. It works with seaweed and pretty much any other shellfish, anything consumed raw. Claire White, where are you? Claire's here. So in 2020, April, I looked it up, we started doing, during COVID, we started working in product development for some of the programs that you support now. So she's here from St. Louis, product development manager, and she is in charge of the pilot program for the Whole Farms Revenue Program. And the takeaway here is register farms. I don't care what part you knew. Once you have a farm, register it and keep the required records. Find your county office and find out what is required. That is the current farm for the Whole Farm Revenue Program. That picture, Bill, you might recognize is Dottie Lolly's Bama Bay Farms. Oh, sorry. So that picture is when USDA came and took pictures, and that's in their Shutterfly account now. So Dottie's still with us and continuously. If you are in a green state, probably need to understand the wind index portion of this availability because that's where we have our storm events that are eligible. ELAP, you need to understand the ELAP. She doesn't work in that shop. It's not part of hers, but your county agent will tell you about it. Why should you know about it? Here's Levy County, anybody from Levy County, Florida, Cedar Key area. So 2023, August, you had a storm. 2024 ELAP payouts for that county were $19 million. So big clam industry. If you are from Vermilion. No, that was for, well, it's by year and then there's a 10-year total. It's on her website. She'll meet with you right during the break in about 30 seconds. Vermilion County, or Parish, Louisiana, I know y'all are here. All right, so what do they do there? Crawfish. They had huge claims due to drought and ELAP's a thing, so get to understand it. It's a disaster relief plan, not an insurance program. There are storm documents available on the UF IFAS site that Leslie housed for us about land-based operations, available in a couple of different languages. And Bob said it, and I'll say it again. As an extension specialist, raise your hand, extension specialist. We are not advocates. We are not allowed to advocate. So join an association, Oyster South, and these are the ones that I am a member of. So, oh, yeah, this is my favorite slide. That's me. Get rid of the stuff. Your kids do not want it, I'm telling you. And if you have it in your business, it's occupying warehouse space, closets, the Trailblazer, we took all the swag home from Gulf Shores. It costs you money to hang on to the stuff. Quick announcement, coming up this spring will be the Alabama-Mississippi Oyster Con. It'll be an event in Mobile at Oyster City Brewery, so there will be more details. And we will have the first annual Oyster Hole Championship, which is similar to cornhole, except we throw oysters at your face. And there will be a regional champion, and we'll challenge some of the other folks wherever we meet next year. There's the QR code. Thanks for your patience. And